The final award of this afternoon is for the Best Musical. And this year's award is a quite unusual musical, a quite unconventional musical. The Alliance created these awards to celebrate and promote that thing about Off Broadway, that quirky, daring, rule-breaking expansion of boundaries of what theater is and could be. And our honoree for Best Musical is the embodiment of all of that. Ernest Shackleton Loves Me. Yes, Ernest Shackleton Loves Me. It features a zany and utterly disarming book by Joe DiPietro and a delightful score by Groove Lily's Valerie Vagoda and Brendan Milburn. It stars Miss Vagoda as a sleep-deprived single mom and Wade McCullum as the famed explorer of the title. Director Lisa Peterson's inventive staging, along with the design of Alexander Nichols, costumes of Chelsea Cook, and sound design of Robert Kaplowitz, uses dazzling stagecraft to create a fantastical high adventure without, in Antarctica, and within, in our minds and hearts. Valerie, the show's heroine, uses live looping with her virtuosic electric fiddle playing and the musical direction of Ryan O'Connell to create what feels like a full orchestra. It's magical. And I can't begin to convey in words how special and innovative this show is, but if you've seen it, you know why we can't resist honoring it today. And so, here to accept the award for Best Musical, Ernest Shackleton Loves Me is producer Matthew Kwatinetz and writer Joe DiPietro.
Thank you so much. We're so glad to be here. It's been a 7-year journey for me, more than 8 for Joe and the other authors, Val and Brendan. I wish Val, Brendan, Lisa, Ryan, and Alex could be here, but I'm so happy to be sharing this moment with my investors and co-producers, my parents, Wade, who played Shackleton, and also is an associate producer on the show, Joe here, who is really the tireless engine that has pushed forward this show, and my wife, without whom none of this is possible. I've wanted to be an off-Broadway producer and be a part of this community all my life. And when I came out of college, as has been mentioned several times, real estate was a bit tough here in New York City for off-Broadway. And I went out to Seattle for a while in my own sort of producer out-of-town tryout. And I ran a series of theaters, festivals, small venues, performing arts centers, and along the way, I had the pleasure of meeting Val and Brendan first, and then Joe. And when I saw this show, I knew it was the one that really had to bring me back to be a part with these artists. It really is a very important story. We're really proud of how unusual everyone says and quirky and all the cool stuff that goes on with it. But really, it's a story of hope and a story of overcoming and really succeeding and achieving the absolute impossible. And I think the lesson is that all of us can do that. And I think in this time we all agree, in any time really, but in this time I'll choose, it's a really important lesson for us all to know. After our runs in Seattle, George Street, and in Boston, we were proud to open here in New York City with Second Stage. They were extremely supportive to us, and we really want to thank the Off Broadway Alliance for giving us this award, and we want to thank you for believing in us. We're only just beginning, and thanks to the recognition of this community, we have a long future still ahead. I want to turn over to Joe for a moment.
I'll be quick, I promise. It's the end. Thank you. First of all, I'm so thrilled. Hi, Estelle. I'm so thrilled because our investors gave us a standing ovation. So It wasn't a terrible mistake. I don't know if, I'm sure all you creatives and producers can relate to this. We were in the third week of our preview process, and there's always a point in that process where I look at the stage and I look at the show and I think, oh my God, is this all a terrible mistake? And suddenly, right before we opened, we get this, we find out we were nominated for Best Musical from the Off Broadway Alliance. That gave us such a shot of oxygen, I can't even tell you. So, for instituting this award, thank you for honoring such a weird, strange show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I have to say, I started Off Broadway 20 years ago, and in the commercial theater, my shows weren't really produced not by nonprofits. They were produced commercially by people who are risking money for my career. I'm here because of that reason. And my first show cost $400,000. A-class production, wound up running for 12 years. Yeah. Can that happen anymore? I don't know. But thank you all who are producing Off-Broadway now. Writers like me, when you're doing a Broadway musical, it's $15 million. It's a lot different pressure than when you're off-Broadway for a few $100,000. So you really gave me an education and so many other people an education. And Matthew, what he said was absolutely true. I met Matthew in Seattle. We did the show at, where was it, Seattle Rep. And he came to me and he said, you know, I've always dreamed of producing off-Broadway. I'm going to take your show off-Broadway. And I was like, yeah, okay, thank you. And here we are today, his dogged persistence. He tried raising money for how long for the show? And everyone was like, can't make money off-Broadway, only on Broadway. He kept at it. So thank you to Matthew and all investors and all of you out there who make off-Broadway what it is. Thank you so much.